The Last Stand, a lion's battle for his throne in the wild. The endless savanna. The African sun blazed high over the vast golden plains, casting long shadows beneath the acacia trees. The air shimmered with heat, and a dry wind rustled the tall grasses. Somewhere in the distance, vultures circled lazily, watching and waiting. This was the Serengeti, a kingdom without walls, but with a throne contested by blood. Chapter 1. Born of Roar and Dust. Kuma was born during the dry season, his first cries drowned out by the roars of his father, Barafu, the reigning Lion King. Barafu had ruled the plains for nearly 5 years, an eternity in lion years. His mane was like midnight fire, thick and glinting with dust. To the pride, he was both protector and punisher. Kuma, like all cubs, was vulnerable at first. He spent his early months nursing, hiding in the shade, and learning to stalk beetles and lizards. But even as a cub, there was a look in his eyes, fierce and wild, as though he knew the plains belonged to him one day. Chapter 2. The Lion's Code. Barafu was not affectionate. He was a king made by survival. He taught Kuma through discipline and pressure, forcing him to fend for himself early. Every lesson was laced with real danger. Chase the warthog too far, and you could meet a leopard. Stray from the pride, and you risk the hyenas. Kuma's brothers, Roku and Damu, were his constant companions. The 3 young lions played, wrestled, and grew together. Yet even among siblings, there was a silent understanding. Only one of them would one day rule. Chapter 3. Exile of the Young. By the time Kuma was 2.5 years old, Barafu forced him and his brothers out of the pride. It was the law of lions. Sons eventually become threats. Banished, the trio wandered the scorched earth. They fought off jackals for scraps. They stalked gazelles and failed more often than not. Hunger etched itself into Kuma's ribs, and still his resolve hardened. Then came the rainy season. Life surged back into the land. Grass greened, rivers swelled, and prey was plenty. It was then Kuma, now filled out and cloaked in a mane of golden fire, began to feel the stirrings of destiny. Chapter 4. The Rogue's Challenge. A lion named Baku, once a pride leader driven out by rivals, emerged from the hills like a shadow. Scarred, lean, and fueled by rage, Baku had no pride, only vengeance. He had heard of Barafu's aging body and Kuma's wandering. Baku watched from the shadows as Kuma hunted. He tested his strength from a distance, roaring at dusk from afar. Kuma roared back, louder each time. Their challenge was primal, territorial roars in the twilight, announcing war before. Chapter 5. The Return of the Heir. Kuma returned to his father's pride one misty morning. He stood at a distance, watching as Barafu limped, favoring his left leg. The king was old now. His roars still echoed, but his body betrayed him. Barafu saw Kuma and paused. Their eyes met. It was not a reunion. It was recognition. Kuma had come for the throne. Yet before Kuma could act, Baku struck. Chapter 6. Clash of the Titans. At sunrise, Baku charged through the pride's edge, roaring with fury. The lionesses scattered with cubs. Barafu rose to defend his realm, but Kuma stepped forward. This was his battle. The clash was brutal. Dust erupted as their bodies collided. Teeth tore into manes. Paws swung like hammers. Baku was fierce. Years of exile had made him ruthless. But Kuma was driven by something deeper. Legacy. Bloodied but not broken, Kuma slammed Baku down near the riverbed. One final roar, a sound that echoed through the hills, sent Baku retreating. Broken, defeated, forgotten. Chapter 7. Father's Last Sunset. Barafu, weakened, stood by as Kuma returned victorious. He approached his son, not with pride, but with the weight of mortality. They did not speak. Lions seldom do. That night, under a blood-orange sky, Barafu walked into the tall grasses alone. By morning, he was gone. Chapter 8. Rise of the Firemane. The pride gathered. Cubs peeked out from behind their mothers. The lionesses bowed their heads. and Kuma roared, a deep, resonant sound that claimed the land. He was no longer just Kuma. He was Firemane, the new king. His mane glowed in the light, and his eyes burned with purpose. Chapter 9. The Laws of Leadership. Firemane ruled not by fear, but by dominance and order. He protected the pride from hyena clans. He fathered strong cubs. He let the old lionesses rest and trusted the young hunters. Yet the throne was never safe. Every roar on the horizon was a question. Every paw print at the edge of the territory was a warning. Chapter 10. Legacy in the Dust. Years passed. Firemane grew older. His cubs became yearlings. One in particular had his father's eyes. Firemane watched from a termite mound as the young lion stalked a buffalo herd. He smiled. If lions could smile, he knew what would come. One day, that cub would challenge him. The throne must always be earned. That was the way of the wild. The last stand is never truly the last. It is a cycle, a legacy written in dust, blood, and roar, for it began.